Going to talk cricket for a moment. England's men's side, of course, beat Pakistan in the first of their three-match test series yesterday. Delighted to say we can speak live to former England batter Nick Compton now. Good morning, Nick. It's being hailed as one of England's greatest test wins away from home. Where do you stand on that?
Well, it's got to certainly be up there. I think all the plaudits have really got to go to Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum, and of course Rob Key as well, for identifying those two characters to take English cricket forward. To get a victory on a docile flat wicket like that in Pakistan, there's not many captains, not many players who would have had the courage to declare when they did, and also have the ability and skill to carry that out throughout 5 days of a test match. So outstanding scenes, amazing to watch. And wow, Ben Stokes to have that sort of courage in leadership with this attacking based mindset and the spirit to win on a flat pitch is just incredible.
Nick, you've preempted my next question because I wanted to ask you specifically about Ben Stokes' captaincy. It looked like a big risk. Pakistan could have chased that 343 to win. Aside of Stokes, could you have seen any other captain in world cricket doing that declaration at that point?
Well, I guess there's many captains that have, with captaincy comes competitiveness, and you don't want to lose. I think when you get to that level, giving away a test match or risking losing a test match has been the mindset. But to turn that on its head and have a completely attacking back mindset, meaning we don't mind if we lose. I suppose it's the old adage of you've got to risk some to gain some. And there's absolutely no qualms about it that Ben Stokes is very much on that path. I think he's done incredibly well to get a group of players to think along the same lines. I think that's been one of the outstanding aspects of his leadership. And of course, to get everyone, the collective, going in the same direction, I think has been incredible. I think it also shows a fantastic environment that you can get young players to come in and feel so settled so soon. We don't see the hierarchies of old. We see young players coming in feeling very comfortable from the get-go, and I think that's been very impressive. And look, let's get to the likes of Jimmy Anderson, 180 test matches. Questions about how long he's going to continue. I mean, his efforts, despite his age, were quite simply remarkable. And Ollie Robinson, a lot of question marks over his fitness. He's not only showed fitness, but he's shown high skill. And Ben Stokes himself, has had a few knee problems. So to run in, pound in the way they did on a flat wicket right to the very end, I think shows an incredible spirit.
You mentioned James Anderson there, and you mentioned Ollie Robinson, but there were centuries for Crawley, Duckett, Pope and Brooke in that first innings. England setting all sorts of records on that first day. Crawley admittedly had his struggles, but McCullum and Stokes, they like the aggressive nature of his batting, don't they? Has their backing of him really given everyone the confidence to play in that manner?
Absolutely. They've repaid the faith. Zach Crawley's had a number of question marks over him. You look at his averages, you look at some of his statistics, and, undeniable question marks. But he's come in there. Look, the conditions would have suited him. I think the ball doesn't do a huge amount. There's not a lot of bounce, but to continue playing in that fashion shows the commitment to selection of certain people. And I think that's what's been a real mark of the McCullum-Stokes leadership, is they've identified a group of players that can play in this fashion. And they've said to them, look, you've got to go out and play that way, and we're going to back you to the hilt, and you're going to have low scores, and it's not going to come off. Of course it's not. But we don't mind losing a few games to try and win a few. And I think it very much plays into the future of this game of Test cricket. They know that Test cricket has been dying for some time. I think we all know it. We've all identified it. And I think it's absolutely paramount that England continue to play this way and that other Test nations follow in the same foot.
Just on the team itself, no Stuart Broad, no Mark Wood, no Ben Stokes, no Johnny Bairstow, that's to name just a few. Does that make this win even more impressive?
Yeah, undeniably. To look at the fact that, Ben Stokes as well pulled out the last second. Ollie Pope came in as a reserve keeper. Again, hasn't, kept much in Test cricket or let alone in first-class cricket. So for him to go and do that was outstanding. Livingston as well, who making his debut, had a bad knee and had to go off towards the end of the Test match. So again, they'll, not to say they played with 10 men, but there were stages where they did. So it was an outstanding effort. I guess the only concern would be how much has it taken out of the likes of Anderson and Ollie Robinson looking at the two remaining test matches. Can they back it up, and do they have the reserves to do it? And I guess also Jack Leach's performance, he bowled a lot of overs, only 3 wickets. So I guess in those conditions, you want to get a little bit more out of your spinner, but it is early days, and Jack Leach will find his feet and grow throughout the series.
Nick, it's not just you who's talking about the way England are changing the way Test cricket is played. The wind's being talked about all over the world, including notably in Australia. And their former batter, Mark Waugh, said McCullum and Stokes are changing the way that Test cricket is to be played. Now, it is the Ashes next summer. Should the Aussies be a little bit scared of England?
No, I think it's a great opportunity for the Aussies to follow suit. I think there's a bigger picture here. It's about the future of Test cricket. With 2020 cricket around and all these other forms, Test cricket has been put under pressure, and we know that we still get a huge following and support in England. I think the Ashes will be a huge series. I think both teams have the capability to play this forward, fast-moving, attacking mindset form of the game. So I think it could be incredibly exciting. And I see some of the players in Australia they'll have to get on board with this, because I think this is the future of Test cricket. I think, as I said, they've got the players to do it. And I think that's what people want to watch. People don't want to watch long drawn out draws where players aren't making the play. They want to see Joe Root, playing reverse sweeps and batting left-handed at times. And, the field setting that Ben Stokes had, the creativity and the presence of mind to put that into play, I think was exciting to watch. And I think that's what we want to see.
Yeah, this new brand of cricket under Stokes and McCullum, England have recorded series wins over New Zealand and South Africa, and now, of course, are one up in Pakistan. How do teams counter their approach, or are you edging towards, if you can't beat them, join them, play the same way?
Exactly. I think, if you can't beat them, join them. But there will come a time where the wickets will require, a slightly different mindset, perhaps a different strategy for periods of play, not the whole game. I think they'll continue their attacking mindset. But I think there are good enough players there, the likes of Joe Root, Ben Stokes, to adapt to the conditions. And they will find tougher conditions. The likes of Pat Cummins, Mitchell Starc, Josh Hazlewood on a spicy wicket at Trent Bridge will be a different proposition, let's be honest. But that will be the true litmus paper test when they go through that. And look, they might lose some games. They've admitted that. I don't think they're afraid of losing, which is what makes this team so dangerous, is that they're willing to lose games to win some. And I think people are going to really join on this ride and this journey. And they are currently all over the world. They deserve every plaudit they've got. But there will be tougher tests. And I think teams will join in, because it's a more exciting brand of cricket. And players are playing that outside of Test cricket. A lot of them are playing that sort of brand of cricket in the T20 formats.
Yeah, just lots of positives that we're talking about following this victory for England. There was one negative, of course. Liam Livingstone ruled out of the rest of the series with a knee injury. It was his Test debut as well. How frustrating will he be feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, horrible for him, because he's been a part of a team and a culture that he's been a part of it in the T20 format, the one-day format. So to get into this now in Test cricket, to challenge himself, really, he's not a player that's known for his longer format play, but someone that will no doubt relish the challenge, and I think will really fit in well given McCullum's mindset. And of course, Ben Stokes. So it'll be bitterly disappointing for him not to have had more of an impact in that Test match. But he's very much a part of that group. And I think he'll be back soon, no doubt.
Not long to recover now for the England and the Pakistan players. The second Test begins on Friday. Can we expect another Test match, dare we say it, to go the full length, the full 5 days?
Well, you're not asking too much, are you? I mean, look, it would have taken a lot out of them. The players will be resting, as long and hard as they can. Test match victories, losses, even just Test matches take a huge amount out of you emotionally, mentally, and physically, of course. And if you look at the stint and the effort that Anderson and Robinson in particular put in, to turn that around so quickly and expect the same intensity will be tough. I mean, these are true professionals. Jimmy Anderson is, a veteran of 180 test matches, so he knows how to recover. He'll know how to get himself back up again, but let's go easy. It's going to be a tough last 2 test matches. They put all their efforts into this test match. And it's going to be a huge test to see how they recover and if they can turn it around. But they've got the spirit, and no doubt they'll keep trying to win and keep trying to attack this Pakistan team, which is hugely exciting for the rest of the series.
3 days to go until the start of the second test. Nick Compton, sounds like you can't wait. Thanks for now.
Cheers.